Hey guys, what's up? Pitmarthroy here, and welcome to Let's Play Hot Wheels World Race. In this case it's for the GameCube, but this is also available for the computer, the Game Boy Advance, and I believe PlayStation 2 as well. But this is a bit of a side LP. It's not going to be very long. There's no way it's going to be more than 10 videos. But the reason that I am doing this is because we are currently unavailable to record Mario Party 9, because we don't have all three of us being available at the same time until probably either, well, by the time this is going up, probably either the very end of this week or next week at some point. And so we need something to do in the meantime, and I figured, I looked through my games and went, okay, what's probably not going to take very long, and this is the first one that came up, and I felt like playing it, so here we are. But for those of you that don't care about that and would rather care about how the game works and, you know, how to get X item or whatever, basic controls for this game, since it is a racing game, it's pretty standard. You know, A is accelerate, B is brake. So, at least on the GameCube version, since that's what I'm using, I'm going to compare all the controls to the GameCube version. So A is accelerate, B is brake. Use your analog stick to control your movement left or right or whatever. Y is to look behind you. R is to use your boost. As you've seen, you can get your boost by collecting those gold rings or also by doing stunts in the air and landing them, obviously. And the more flips or twists that you do per stunt, the more boost you'll get out of it. And you can either fail the stunt, get a great, or get a perfect. If you get a perfect, then obviously you're going to get more than you would from a great. But if you do 2 flips or 2 twists, and then get a perfect, then that will automatically fill the gauge up all the way. So that's generally what I try to aim for. Now, if you did a backflip on a ramp and then came up to a ramp later on in the course and did another backflip, it would give you a stale where you would not be able to get as much nitrox from it, which is the boost. I'll probably refer to it mostly as nitrox. So you want to avoid doing the same stunts over and over, so you won't get stale. So make sure that you avoid that. And if you do it a third time, it's actually going to give you super stale, and that won't give you any boost at all. With stale, you'll get a little bit, not very much, but a little bit. So you want to avoid doing that at all costs. What it just did right there was a combo. Whenever you're doing a stunt in midair, provided it's not a stale or super stale, you can press 2 buttons, which can be like B or X, A or Y, A or B, anything like that. And then if you hit both the buttons correctly and then land the stunt, and you do that 3 times, you'll get that fire that engulfs your car right there, or that we had seen previously. I don't know why my dad's making so much noise in the background. He's acting like he's sick, but he's just fine. Whenever somebody says they're sick and you ask them what's wrong and they say, I don't know, and they're just, you know, like randomly getting different ailments every hour, they're probably lying. But regardless. The X right there, by the way, is the handbrake, and whenever you run over those blue things on the ground, those are boosts. And whenever you pick up those flaming wheels, those unlock shortcuts, which you can see made that glowing bar disappear so you can, you know, get through the course faster. So you obviously want to try to pick those up. And that finishes up challenge mode. It will force you to use that car every time, but that car is really not that bad. And there's 34 other options whenever we actually get into the real deal. So we're going to start with League. I'm only going to show off Quick Race if we don't get all the items while playing through League, and then I'll show off like maybe one time trial. But right now we have 4 different teams we can choose from. Actually, you'll always have 4. But we can only choose the captains for the team. So you have Wave Rippers, Scorchers, Dune Rat, Street Breed, and Road Beasts. I'm going to go with the Wave Ripper car because it's got the fastest speed of what we currently have right now. I mean, the Scorch one also did, but the Wave Ripper one's more balanced, so that's what I prefer to stick with. Okay, so League mode. Basically, at the top right here, it will tell you how many points you need to continue and what place you need to come in at the very least. You can only place first through 6 because there's only 6 racers, so as long as you don't get last on the first course, then you're automatically going to continue on. And if you beat the requirement, it will give you whatever stage you will be racing on. In this case, it's Cloud 9. And then over there on the left it says best pickup 0, and if you collect 50 of the pickups, which are the golden rings, and finish in the top 3, that will get you a new car, and if you get 100 pickups and finish in the top 3, that will also get you another car. And you can unlock them both at the same time. You can. And then over there on the right, we have the best times. If you get the best time overall, these are just computer-generated names like AL or MGM, whatever, you know. Doesn't matter what they call them. JM. Those are just computer-generated. But if you get the best time and the best lap, that will unlock the gallery items that you just saw in challenge mode. And the gallery items, all they are is they're just simply pictures of each of the cars. And there's 36 in all, and there's 35 cars. One of them is like a little cheat thing at the end, but it's not really a cheat. It's just you can enter that in at the start screen, and it will change some of the cars' decorations. Just 2 of them, though. Neither of which are cars that I prefer to use, so it's not that big a deal to me, but I'll be sure to show it off. Alright, you can just get out of my way whenever you feel like it. So yeah, you'll be racing against 5 other opponents, and it'll always be one opponent from each team, which means you're going to have one person that was technically on the same team as you, but it doesn't matter how well they place. They could come in dead last, and it won't affect your score. It's completely free for all in League, so don't worry about them at all. And I think I already said this, but if you press Y, you can look behind you, which I don't use that often, so I don't find it that big of a deal. But as you can see, we've already collected all 100 rings, so as long as I come in the top 3, it's all good. And since it's the Rookie League, I'll probably be able to do that without much trouble. If you're wondering what buttons it's going to give you, like each time you're doing one of those combos, it's dependent on which team you choose. Like, for example, the Scorchers, I think you have to press X and B for the first one, B and X for the second one, and then A and Y for the final one. I'm pretty sure for the Wave Rippers, it's like A, X, and then A, Y, and then A, B. I think that's what it is. It's something like that. And there we go. So yeah, I won that one with no problem, but it's, you know, the first race. You're supposed to be able to win it without much trouble. Which I beat the other person by a little under a second, but in racing, a second is actually quite a bit of time, so. And then they'll also give you points, which is going back to the league thing, but I really don't pay attention to the points, I just pay attention to the place that I get, so. First gets 15, second gets 12, 3 gets 9, 4 gets 6, 5th gets 3, and 6 doesn't get anything. And then it will offer you to put in your name if you get a new race record or a new lap record. And it will give us 2 new cars, the stage and 2 gallery items, which is funny because I believe both of these cars in the movie Hot Wheels World Race were actually not cars. I know for the fact that Golden Arrow is the Corvette Stingray in the movie. Which this game is supposed to be based off the movie a little, but, you know, since there's no story to it, it's really not that big a deal whether it would be or not. So, whether you've seen the movie or not, it really doesn't matter at all. So, if you haven't seen it, then not a big deal. You'll notice since I got first this time, the points I need to continue in the place are actually 0 and 6, so even if I come in dead last, I still unlock the stage. But obviously I'm going to try to go for the best I can each time. Each track has 100 pickups. Can you get them all? There's actually one stage in the GameCube version that is impossible to get all the rings, and I'll point that out when we get there, or at the very end of the project, or whatever. And I think it's just a mess up in like a transfer problem, because I know for a fact on the computer version, you can get all the cars, because I've done it many times before, back when I had the game. Now, unlike the first... Dude, would you get out of my way? Stop it. Crazy. There's always one idiot like that. Anyway, as I was saying, you'll note on the last race that we just did, I was able to get all the power-ups in one lap. Sometimes that's just literally not possible at all unless you back up and go to get them again or something stupid like that. Which you obviously want to avoid doing that, but... You know, if a path forks and there's some on the left and some on the right, you'll get some on the first lap and some on the second, so... Sometimes you'll only be able to get, you know, some of the rings in the first lap and some on the second. Sometimes you actually won't be able to get any, or well, not any of the rings, but some rings will only be able to be acquired on the final lap, actually. Like, see, I wasn't able to get these last time because I went up on the ramp to get the ones over there. So sometimes it's just simply not possible. Which I did miss a couple while I was going through here because that idiot drove me into the wall, but it's not that big a deal. You can get them easily. The shortcut was what we just drove through right there, by the way. The reason I took the long way was to go get the rings. But now we have them all. Oh, and you don't have to be stingy with your boost at all on this map because there's no jumps to save it for. Because if you couldn't already tell from whenever I did challenge mode, whenever you do a boost on a ramp, most of the time it will take you up to a higher level or, you know, just make you have a higher jump. It doesn't do it all the time, but most of the time it will. And the reason that I'm avoiding that boost over there on the far right is actually because whenever you go downhill, if you watch on the last lap when I get there, whenever you go downhill, you actually will sometimes exceed 200 miles per hour, and the boost will automatically take you to 199, so it will actually slow you down a little bit. And that's why I avoid it. There's not a lot of instances where you actually want to avoid the boost, but that is one of them. So yeah, this race is not very hard either. The only annoying part is this little spot right here where I usually end up having to let go of the acceleration for a second so I don't hit the wall. But even then, it's not that big a deal. This guy's going to try to pass me, but I'll just use the boost if worse comes to worse. Get out of my way. See, like, look right here. See, I'm going like up to 218. That's why I didn't ever use boost. Over there on the right. The boost, I should say. And most of the time, the CPUs will hit the wheel if you miss it, so you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes it's just knowing if they pick it up or not, but whatever. And we got some new cars, which I really don't use either one of those. I've used the Golden Arrow before from the first one. I don't really use the 40-something, which I know wasn't in the movie. I also know the Pony Up that we just got was not in the movie either. The Arrow Flash was. And now we have Vapor City. Which is funny, another city. We just did Satellite City, and now we're going to Vapor City. They're not all cities, fortunately. These aren't my favorite tracks, but they are the easier ones, so that's why I don't really complain about them. My favorite tracks are like the mountain fire-based ones. Mist Mountain's probably my favorite course, which is actually in the Rookie League, so y'all be able to see it in this video. It's the very last one, though, so. But Mist Mountain's probably my favorite. That one's pretty awesome. And here's an example of where I would recommend using the handbrake for once. Which I almost never say use the handbrake. But on U-turns, you do want to use the handbrake. That's probably the only example. This one is actually kind of difficult to get all the rings, or at least for a rookie course it is, because you're only going to get one shot at some of the specific rings. Like whenever I took that ramp and the path split between left and right, you're only going to get one shot at both of those because there's actually a third path as well that's not, you just avoid the ramp and there's another set of 10 rings right there, so you have to make sure that you don't get that as well. Which I'm actually going to take the lower path on this one, so. The hardest one to get, in my opinion, is actually the rings on the left after you've taken the ramp. But see, there's a left and right path right here, and then you've also got to pick these up. And so we're just missing that set on the left, which is 10, and then one other ring, which is right here. So we just have to get that set of 10, and then we're all good. Dude, you were not supposed to steal that from me. Get out of here. See, like I said, I missed the wheel right there, but the CPUs will typically go for it. They just try to take the fastest path possible, and sometimes actually by taking a shortcut, you can actually slow yourself down overall, which is kind of funny, but it is possible. Because you'll like go through one shortcut, but you'll miss one that was even faster than the one you took, so actually it would take more time overall. Just little funny things like that. But no problems there. Got the new lap and race record. So that will unlock Power Piston, Exotic, Vapor Gallery, and then Gallery items. Or Vapor City, not Vapor Gallery. Good lord. That's what you get for reading ahead like that. I hate reading, but whenever I do read, I read like way too fast to the point where I like skip an entire paragraph. I'm going so fast. And we have Tesla's Cube, which was the track that had all the challenge modes on it. So whenever you actually finish this one, you're not going to unlock it because it was already unlocked. Like if you went to Quick Race right off the bat, you'd have to be able to play something, or else it wouldn't be, wouldn't be unlocked right from the start. So they give you that one race track. But to get all the other ones, you're going to have to play through League. Which isn't that big of a deal, because League's probably the best part of this game, except for maybe multiplayer. Multiplayer can be good or bad. It depends on how good everyone else you're playing with is. But racing's a lot like that sometimes. You need people really close to your skill to be good. It's not like Mario Party where somebody with, that's not good at the minigames at all can still win. Mario Party's a lot more luck-based, but racing's a lot more skill-based. If you're wondering how many rings it takes to fill up the Nitrox, by the way, it takes, I think, 19. It's supposed to be 20, but I'm pretty sure 19 will actually work for you, so... I like how this track looks, but it's really, really, really easy to win, so... Yeah, we should be able to get the last 20 with no problem, because that's where the shortcut was that had the things barred off on it. Which are now gone. I'm not sure if this route's actually faster. I think it is by a little bit, but not very much. But still, faster is faster. Even though it didn't look like I got a perfect right there, it still gave it to me. Which is good, because it seems like the twists are a lot harder to land than the flips are. And so I think they're a little bit more lenient with whenever you do a twist and you just a little bit off, they'll still give you a perfect for it. Which I appreciate it, because like I said, the flips are a lot easier, in my opinion, to land. So yeah, this track is not difficult at all. This one's probably the easiest one overall, in my opinion. And there we go. If you're wondering, by the way, why I always use the boost at the end, it's just for the sake of using it, because the Nitrox doesn't carry over to the next level, so... Once you know there's no jumps left, just use it whenever. And that will unlock Maelstrom, Silhouette 2, and Gallery Items 6 and 7. Like I said, it won't unlock the course because it was already technically unlocked. But I'll be using the Silhouette 2 in the Veteran League, because the Silhouette 2 is actually one of my favorite cars. It probably is my favorite overall, but there's another one that I really also enjoy using, and those are typically the only two that I'll ever use. And the Captain is not one of them, so you'll be seeing the other one that I like using in Elite. So now we have Space Out. This one is kind of weird, in my opinion. This is actually one that a lot of people, if you're actually good at the game, sometimes you'll actually mess up and not get all the rings, and I'll explain why once we actually start the track. Because there's one ramp in the course, and, obviously there's a shortcut on it. And it's possible, it doesn't look like it is, but it is actually possible to get enough Nitrox before you take that ramp, so you can actually just make the shortcut on the first lap. And then sometimes you'll take the shortcut all 3 laps and forget that there was rings on the normal pass, so... Because you can get a total of 20 rings. There's 10 that we just picked up, there's another 5, and here's another 5 right there, so it is possible. But I prefer to take the lower path anyway, just so I don't forget about using the, or getting the rings. And yeah, I typically break a lot right here, because if you take that turn too fast, you're just going to miss all the power-ups right there. And then this turn also, it is extremely hard to get all the power-ups, which I don't think I actually did get them all because some idiot rear-ended me. I know I missed one right there, but I can always go back for that one. Dude, cut it out. Every time you play one of these leagues, there's always going to be one guy that just enjoys running his car straight into you. every single time I've played this game. Doesn't matter if it's on GameCube or any other system. There's always one guy. Alright, so if I end up short just one ring, I'll know it was back on that original path and I'll take it again. But for now, we're going to take the shortcut. I kind of messed it up right there, which is why it only gave me a great, but oh well. Okay, like I said, I know I missed one earlier, but was there one on... It looks like it. Unless I just missed one over here on this corner, which I've done before. Oh no, that was the last one. Okay, good. I didn't miss any in that lower area, so I can take the shortcut again. Alright, good. I know it seems like these guys aren't putting up much of a fight right now, except for like on the first lap when everybody's in the way, because you automatically start last no matter how well you place on the previous race. But trust me, they will become a lot worse in later leagues. Since this is Rookie League, it's really easy to beat them. I was hoping to get that boost, but oh well. Good spot to use the boost is right there, by the way, because you seem to lose about 20 miles an hour whenever you go up that thing, so... Right there, it really didn't matter if you hit the boost or not. That's one of the examples where the boost doesn't really help much. So let's just continue right along. Got the Jester, the MT, or MS/T-Zuka, Suzuka, whatever. I hate the Dune Rats cars. Like, almost all of them are trucks. There's like one or two that aren't. Actually, I think there's three, and then the rest of them are trucks. But the trucks in this game are awful. Because almost all the trucks have really good speed and really good boost, but their turning is so bad that it's almost impossible not to handbrake on every single corner. Drives me insane. But now we're going to play Mist Mountain, which is good because this is one of my favorite tracks. I'm not sure if it's my very favorite, but I'm pretty sure it is. I've got like 4 or 5 tracks that I really enjoy, but this one's probably at least in my top 2. I'm actually going to turn the sound volume down a little bit here. It kind of stinks because, like, in this game, unless you got your sound up really high, like to the point where you take the sound all the way down, the music up, and then you turn like your speakers up or whatever, you can't really hear the music in this game. But the music is really cool because it's from the movie. Which, you know, it's Hot Wheels, so don't expect it to be like some epic soundtrack, but for Hot Wheels, it's pretty cool. And if you're all around my age, you at least played with Hot Wheels as a kid or knew about them. There was no kid in the 90s that did not know about Hot Wheels. You'd have to be crazy not to. And that guy nearly pushed me off the ramp. It is possible to fall off the stage, but it's only if you take like a ramp at a really awkward angle. And there's actually a couple cars that, like, if you run them into the side right here, or any spot really, if you just run them into the side of the thing, you can actually flip them over. But they're like really, really small cars, so it doesn't always work, but it will work on occasion. It's only worked on 2 cars that I know of, but I'll be sure to show them off. Cool thing about the boost is you'll notice if you take them at a really weird angle, it'll push your car towards the center of the track, so you can kind of use that as a cheat. And I should not have done that because I don't think you have to boost on that that jump right there. Means I'm not going to be getting that shortcut until the final lap. Who's tap dancing outside of my broom? That's really weird. I hate having wood floors. They're like, let's change it to wood floors. They look so much better. I'm like, yeah, but they project much, much more. And what happens when they project? Noise gets louder. And that's even worse than it already was. As you can see on Mist Mountain, there are quite a bit of jumps, or at least for a Rookie League track, there are quite a bit of jumps, so you're going to have to get used to landing stunts perfectly or combos or anything like that, but in my opinion, that's really not that difficult. Some of the tracks are very annoying, but it's not because of ramps, it's just because of how they're placed, and they got really weird turns or stuff like that. There's actually one track that has a U-turn followed right by another U-turn. Okay, that was weird. I could have sworn it said AA right there, but whatever. What's funny is if you ever play Scrabble, AA is actually a word. I'm like, shouldn't that have an H at the end of it? I don't understand that. Alright, I think this is the jump where I need to use the boost. Yep, it is. There we go, that's all 100. Well done. If you're wondering what I'm going to do for the rest of the leagues, because actually the Veteran League and the Elite League, they're going to have all these courses again, and then they're just going to have, like 4 more or 5 more, however much. I'm probably just going to take Veteran League, which I'm not sure how many races it has exactly, I think 10, and I'll probably just have 2 videos, one with the first 5 and one with the last 5. And then for Elite, I'm not sure how many races are in Elite, I think it's like 16. I'll probably just split that up into 3. And have 5, 5, and 6, or 5, 6, and 5, or 6, 5, 5, whatever. Probably 6, 5, and 5, because the first 6 are probably the shortest ones, so that'll probably be the schedule for it. Which means we'll have this video, and then 2, and then 3, so that'll be 6 videos, and then if I missed anything while going through the Veteran or Elite tracks, I'll have another video going over that, and then maybe like a time trial just to show what it is, which it's, pretty self-explanatory. It's the same as all racing games. So probably like some videos. 1/4 mile coupe. That's actually one of the cars I was talking about. That it's really easy to just knock them over by pushing them in the side of the wall because it's so small. The Roger Dodger is actually pretty good, though. It's not one of my favorite ones, but it's pretty good. All of the times that I've used it, it's always proven to be very effective. If you're wondering why there's a 3, by the way, in parentheses next to the retry race, kind of like the original Mario Kart, there is only a certain amount of times it's going to let you retry. It will only let you retry a race 3 times in Rookie, twice in Veteran, and once in Elite, so make sure you use them sparingly. Using them is not going to affect your score at the very end or anything like that, so congratulations, you've completed the Rookie League. You're ready for the real competition. Now try Veteran League. Yeah, but we're going to do that next time, because this has already been 27 minutes long. And what's funny is the 2 cars that we just unlocked are actually right here, along with the one that we just drove, so that's kind of funny. But anyway, next time on Let's Play Hot Wheels World Race, we are going to be going through Veteran League with this guy right here, the Silhouette 2, because this one's one of my favorite cars. And so, yeah, see you guys then.